Are we live? All right. Hey, here we are, everybody. This is Ryan Parrish and Rylan Bickley from Behind the Steel Curtain. You might know us as Read and React. We do the weekly column. We're trying to do something new. Isn't that right, Rylan?
That is true. I don't know if we've had like an official podcast for BTSC. Well, I guess that this isn't like official, but nothing
We're getting
like
our toes wet.
BTSC adjacent. Yeah, for quite some time. So figured we'd try something new.
Yeah, and I thought, we were talking about this pretty much since the summer, but what better time to kind of just do a little tester, feel out the waters than with Hard Knocks coming out this year. If we're gonna have a terrible December schedule, we might as well enjoy the ride with HBO as they take us into the locker rooms as much as they can. What are you expecting from this show? Like how real are you expecting them to get? Because like Hard Knocks is kind of hit or miss. Some years you don't really get much insight, and then sometimes you get like we got with the Giants, where you're like, oh, you maybe showed us too much.
Yeah, I mean, so full disclosure, I've never watched Hard Knocks before. I've seen a couple clips on YouTube, but I'm kind of going into this green, and so I'm curious to see how it goes. I mean, I think that there's enough good characters in the AFC North. You got George Pickens, you got Russell Wilson, you got Mike Tomlin, like Jameis Winston. His pregame interview on Thursday Night Football was just like the funniest thing I've seen in quite some time. So I think there'll be just a lot of entertaining personalities there, even if the season isn't always like the most exciting. But yeah, I'm really excited to kind of dive in and get my first like true Hard Knocks experience, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily like a diehard memorized every season type, but I have definitely watched most of the seasons, if not all of them. Uh, I remember, some of the early ones, like we kind of talked about it this summer, but it's just funny how much the rest of the AFC North has already been featured in Hard Knocks. They've all had their own seasons except the Steelers. So like, the one that really got the show going was the Ravens right after they won the Super Bowl. You had Shannon Sharp, classic Hard Knocks character, just those really boisterous guys who are not afraid to take over a scene. You always need some of those, and the AFC North definitely has those. I don't know if the Steelers truly will. It depends on like how much they're going to let HBO actually have access to George Pickens, I think. I feel like there could be some defense being played by the Steelers and their PR staff there, but we'll see. Uh, but one of my other favorite characters was actually a Steeler in James Harrison when they did Bengals. I want to say I always forget the year. Was it 13? It was 16. I think it was 16 because he left later. So basically they're following James Harrison around and he's like being a menace to the cameras. He's not wanting them like see any meetings. And then they catch him talking with the OC at the time about how he needs to not hit AJ Green in practice, and he was just like, "No, I'm gonna hit him." So like, you just need characters like that. As far as action, I am curious to see what they're gonna do with all the games because they're gonna have, four different teams to highlight, and in some of the episodes, it'll be two games because everybody's gonna be playing each other. But typically it's like if the teams are boring, game days will take up most of the episode. If the teams are interesting, you get less of the game. So with four teams to balance, I think that's what's really ambitious here, and I'm curious to see how HBO pulls that off.
For sure. I do feel, I mean, they've never done four teams before, right? Like, I
No,
don't know
ever.
how
It's
many
only ever been
games.
one. So, you well,
Yeah.
actually that's not true. They have once before. COVID year 2020, we got the Rams and we got the Chargers, if I remember right. But I did not get very far in that one, I will admit, because we'd already seen the Rams and the Chargers were not giving us much. So
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I feel like if we're like, there's going to be, if you have four teams that you're filming, there should be enough to fill an episode. So hopefully
no
there should
doubt,
be
no
more
doubt. That's
stuff
where
to talk about there just by nature of having more stuff to pull from, right?
Yeah, totally. That's where I'm going to be curious to see how they divvy it up because, like, are they going to truly be like, all right, everybody gets their equal share? Are there going to be teams that are highlighted more than others? Uh, are there teams that are going to be highlighted more than others just because one team's going to be like, we're going to give you as little as we possibly can? Are they going to not care about the Browns because their season's pretty much over, even if they, you know, win out, they still, I don't think, will make the playoffs. So. I don't know. It's going to be curious to see. But what should people expect from us is that sometime in the day after the show airs on HBO, we'll come out with this podcast and just give you our general reactions and hopefully it's a fun season to talk about.
For sure, yeah. I have a question. So like we'll be talking mainly about Steelers, but like what's like the team besides the Steelers that you're like the most excited to get like a look inside?
Well, I mean, I mean, it's hard not to, it's really tough because it's between the Bengals and the Ravens. And both are, I'm hoping and trying to project into the universe, for their downfalls. I feel like, I would love to see the Ravens getting frustrated as for whatever reason the Steelers keep winning enough games that they can't overtake us. That's the hope. And then the Bengals just to seem like they've been a mess all year and they're generally a messy organization, it seems like through the years. So, and they haven't paid their two-star wide receivers who have both already vocally been very upset about it. So if this season continues to go downhill for them, are we going to get some prime Bengals bungling drama? I hope so.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Just yeah, especially now if the Ravens lose to the Steelers again in kind of the same just like weird like Steelers necromancy weird way, I think that'll just be like must watch TV where Lamar's just like, how come like I'm like running through mud whenever I play the Steelers, you know?
As he said, shit's annoying. So like, uh, yeah, I'm excited to see that. From the trailer, now here's the thing, I never know what the trailer. They were showing clips as far back as the Giants game. So we are hopefully going to get the one that they did win, and I would love to see the sideline of the Baltimore Ravens during that game. I think that will be fun for Steelers fans to watch, regardless how the rest of the season goes.
Oh yeah, and I mean, gosh, that Thursday night game against the Browns, like when I was scrolling through like the photos when I wrote my post game article, like every single one was just like this like beautiful like cinematic shot. Like I wasted so much time just like picking the right photo, and I think that if there were HBO cameras there, uh, that snow game is just gonna look awesome on TV.
It's
And
got to be
man, I
better
know
than what the
that.
broadcast was. The
Oh my
broadcast, like you
gosh.
could hardly they had to do shots of them always like scraping off the numbers in the sidelines every 2 seconds. You could hardly see it. And then you get the shot, like the end zone shot, and you're like, oh, actually the quarterbacks can see pretty far downfield. It's the broadcast shot where we just can't see anything happening.
Yeah, I will say though, I've seen some clips of like a end zone view, all 22 on Twitter, and it just looks horrible. Like
Yeah,
it's
like
actually
it cuts
hilarious.
off.
Yeah.
You see
And then
like
yeah,
maybe
the
10 yards downfield, but still.
yeah, and the Steelers like white jerseys were hilarious when they added the like virtual lines to the field. Like I swear like that one pick that Jameis threw was probably because like Beanie Bishop just like blended in like perfectly. Or no, it wasn't Beanie Bishop, it was
It
a
was Dante. It was Dante. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, he definitely. Well, he sailed it over his guy too, if I'm remembering it right. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. LASIK Jameis, that wasn't fair. Turnovers, but you know, we'll talk about the offense in the column later.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, we just wanted to do a brief intro to kind of set expectations, let you know we'll be doing this. Look out for this on Wednesdays, and follow along with us as we watch AFC Hard Knocks.
Heck yeah. And make sure to read, and react each. Also, Wednesday, we'll probably pair them together if we get the chance.
Nice.
So
Yes, actually, yeah,
stay
good
tuned.
plug. Good plug. Good save. Read our stuff. Please.
Please.
All right. I think that's going to do it for us this week. We will be back December 4th, right after the show.